All right, motherfucks, it's time for video 2 of the day. Typically, we don't do this here on the Hater channel, especially like during Hater Mania, running wild on your bitch asses, where I'm doing a video a day. Today, I'm doing 2 videos today, just because I want to talk about this, and I really didn't want to not do a video about wrestling. So that's why I did Goof Video 1. This is Goof Video 2, right? This is about the royal family, right? Now, first of all, if anybody here is from England or any part of the Commonwealth, but specifically if they're from England, please explain to me why everyone cares about these people, right? I am not impressed at all by the royal family. I think they're a bunch of fucking nerds. That's what I think. You understand me? That's what I believe. If that offends anybody, tough shit, tough titty, I'm sorry. That's how I feel, right? So there's this big interview with Oprah, right? Don't get me started on that broad. Well, on Oprah, whatever, some Oprah, one-off interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, who is now in the running for biggest cuck of all time. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing, right? The interview starts, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching, I just hear it's a big deal, so my friends are like, watch it, so I watch it, right? And long story short, I'm going to spare you guys 2 hours of your lives. Long story short, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle talk all this shit about the royal family, right? Basically saying that because Meghan Markle is apparently black, right? That like her kid might be like of a darker skin tone than white, and this concerned a mystery member of the royal family. It feels like one of those mystery man matches, like the mystery opponent. Nonetheless, right? The point was Meghan Markle and Harry say that like the crown is racist, right? Or has some racism in there. Those are the implications. They don't outright say it, but that's the implication, right? The next day or whatever, Piers Morgan, that motherfucker, I sometimes agree with him, I sometimes hate his ass. Piers Morgan is on his little show, and he starts saying how this is a bunch of horse shit, how Meghan Markle has pretty much, and Harry have pretty much besmirched, to borrow a word from William Regal, besmirched the crown. One of his co-hosts or whatever tries to explain some dumb shit to him. Piers Morgan can't take it. He escapes. He leaves. Then he quits the show. Now here's what happened, motherfucks. I don't know why he would quit the show. I don't know why they would fire him. Honestly, he didn't do anything wrong, right? But basically what he was saying was that we don't have proof of this racism, right? And the cuck and these other cucks that were there as co-hosts, they're like, well, this happened and that happened. And Piers Morgan's like, motherfucks. One of the claims she made was that that her son, because he's mixed race, wouldn't get a title of prince, right? So Piers Morgan's that's factually incorrect. And these people then start saying goofy shit. That's why we're here. They start saying goofy shit. They're like, well, there's the fact, and then there's how someone perceives the fact. And Piers Morgan is like, no, motherfucks, there's just the fact, right? Obviously, he's right. These people, the fact that they're educated journalist types, right? In my opinion, if I was the owner of that TV show or channel, I would fire them on the spot just for stupidity. I'd be like, you can't be this stupid and work for me. It's just not going to happen, right? If someone says there's the fact and the way someone interprets the fact, that person is a retard and that person is most likely a pussy. It's as simple as that. Facts are facts and the truth is the truth. The sun shines in the morning and sets at night, motherfucks. That's how the world works, But nonetheless, this isn't even about Piers Morgan. It's about the greater point, right? The greater point, the goofy shit of England still having kings and queens and caring whether these kings and queens are racist, right? I don't give a fuck if some old broad is racist, right? So you have this old bag who's been queen for 150 years or whatever, right? Good for her. She's apparently nice. People like her, right? And now her grandson is saying, oh, she's a racist. No, he didn't say she's a racist, but he implied that someone in the family is a racist, right? And he implied that the institution is racist. Now, this should surprise absolutely no one. A lot of people don't believe Meghan Markle, but I do, motherfucks. I do, and here's why I do. Because it should surprise absolutely no one that a bunch of old motherfucks from England who are kings and queens might be racist. This should surprise absolutely not one person. But the better question is, who gives a flying fuck? You know what I'm saying? The guy in the Piers Morgan interview, he was like, well, if this means that the future king of England is racist, we can't have a racist king. And I'm looking at this guy, and I can't believe the words he's saying, because to me, it's like this guy really thinks that this old broad and Prince Charles are actually a queen and a prince, right? I don't give a fuck if her great-great-grandpa was like Edward VII or whatever, right? I don't give a shit. These people are not real kings and queens. These people are just a bunch of celebrities, basically, right? Who get their celebrity from being related to kings and queens. They're not real kings and queens, right? Because if they were, some jabron on a TV show wouldn't say, we can't have a racist king. And then Piers Morgan's like, no, we can't. If there was a real king or a queen, they'd be like, shut the fuck up, I'm the king, I do what the fuck I want. I don't have to explain myself to you, you jobber, right? But these aren't real kings and queens. So to me, the way people look at this is just laughable. It's goofy as shit, right? It's like, when are these people going to stop doing this, you know? When are they going to stop pretending that this Prince Harry guy is anything but a cuck? He's not a prince. What princely thing has he done? Has he kissed a princess and awoken her from her like endless slumber? Has he slayed a dragon? Has he done any princely shit? No, this motherfucker, all he's known for is he went to a party once dressed as a Nazi, right? And now he goes on TV and lectures the rest of us about, like, you know, covert racism and all this other stupid shit, you know? No, motherfuckers, I need to see evidence. You know, it's not about how you feel and how this thing made you feel. That just means you're a pussy. It's as simple as that. If someone says something, if someone says 1 + 1 is 2, and you happen to think that it's 3, and that upsets you, that hurts your feelings, that just doesn't change the fact that 1 + 1 is 2. But what it does do is it shows us that you're a sensitive bitch who can't handle the truth and basically want 1 + 1 to be 3 so you can feel better about yourself. How selfish is that, right? And that's all I got from this interview. These two fucking people, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. First of all, Meghan Markle has to be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard speak in my life. This woman is the stupidest person I think I've ever heard speak, right? First of all, like, Oprah is asking her, like, oh, did you Google Prince Harry? She's like, no, I didn't Google my husband, right? And then she's like, no one in the royal family taught me how to say the hymn, right? Or the national anthem, right? No one thought to do this for me. What, are you retarded? You're not just marrying a guy from England, right? You're marrying a guy from England who's apparently a prince, right? You should be sitting down there like the guy from Coming to America #2, right? Learning about, like, his ancestors. I don't know if you guys watched the movie. Pretty good, actually, if I do say so myself, right? But in Coming to America 2, like, Eddie Murphy's, like, bastard son, as they call him, right? Comes back to, like, whatever the fuck their kingdom is called, and he's put through these trials. He has to get the whiskers from a fucking lion before he becomes a prince. He has to learn the family history before he becomes a prince. Meghan Markle comes there, and she's like, oh, nobody taught me this. I didn't know this, right? She's like, I didn't know that you have to be respectful to the queen and bow to the queen when you're, like, you know, when you're with her in person. I'm like, what, are you retarded? Like, are you really this stupid? You know what I mean? I really think she is. I think she's just, like, not very bright. You know what I mean? She's just not a smart person. And she's out there just, like, using this. She's doing a good job leveraging her situation. But the facts are what the facts are. These people are, like, she's an idiot. And Harry's probably an idiot too. But more importantly, he's a cuck. You know, the facts are what the facts are. Obviously, we don't excuse racism around here in the Hater channel. You know, I hate that shit. I hate when people hate people for no reason. That's my entire purpose of this channel. It's, you have to have a reason to hate someone. And the way that someone looks and the way that someone are not reasons to hate someone. As a matter of fact, even choices that people make a lot of times aren't good enough, you know? Because that's what you always hear, that you're like, it's not okay to be racist, but it's okay to hate fat people. No, it's not okay to hate fat people, right? Yeah, they made a choice, but fuck it. That choice doesn't affect you. The only way you should hate people is within a certain context, right? Like, I hate Darby Allin as a wrestler. I have no actual feelings of hate towards Darby Allin, nor do I have any feelings of hate towards Meghan Markle or this other jobber, right? But this guy makes me fucking sick. That is a fact of life, motherfuckers. He makes me sick. I don't give a shit if my grandma was the worst person in the world, motherfuckers. Rest in peace, grandma. And rest in peace, other grandma. I don't give a shit if they were the worst two people that ever lived. I don't care if they were Hitler and Osama bin Laden. You would have to kill me first before I rat out on my grandmas. You know what I'm saying? Or my family. You would have to kill me first, motherfuckers. And this guy, this piece of shit, he is raised with a silver spoon both in his mouth and in his ass, everything handed to him. He has no idea what struggle is. He has no idea what self-doubt is. All these things, he's just a fucking sissy. He's like, oh, I couldn't get out. Shut the fuck up. You're a prince. You know, apparently, supposedly you're a prince. People treat you like you're a prince, even though you don't do princely shit. You just dress up as Hitler. That's all you fucking do. People treat you like a prince, and this guy has the nerve to complain. There's a fucking 2-hour interview on Oprah about the prince and princess complaining? Are you fucking kidding me? This is what the world has come to now? A billionaire interviewing a prince and a princess millionaire about how hard being a prince was? Are you fucking insane? You know what I'm saying? People can't even talk about their oppression in any capacity unless they're like part of these oppressed groups, right? Let alone a prince comes out there and tells me how hard his life is. Have you fucking lost your mind? That's how I know these people aren't smart. They don't understand that most people are going to perceive them like two fucking assholes that they are. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, I give a shit. People can't pay their bills. People are dying from COVID, and these two cocksuckers are like, oh, the crown didn't do as I wanted. Shut the fuck up. If these were different times, Queen Elizabeth would have chopped off both of their heads for, like, I don't know, treachery to the crown or whatever the fuck, some other goofy shit like that, right? So this is what I'm talking about, man. People that have no business complaining, just bitching and moaning, you know? It is so unbecoming of people with that much privilege. Typically, I don't really buy the privilege argument, but I will start buying it when we're talking about a fucking prince, motherfucks. We're talking about a fucking prince. This guy has never had to work a day in his life. He never has to work a day in his life. And more important than that, because a lot of people work and are just fine, and a lot of people don't work and they're just fine, because we're all different. But the facts are what the facts are. This guy has never had to worry one time in his life about money. He's never had to worry one time in his life about where his next meal is coming from, or whether he can afford a tank of gas, or whether he can go see his mom, or whatever the case may be, right? Well, he had to worry about that, unfortunately, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, this guy has had almost no worries in his entire life. Yeah, he lost his mom young, but a lot of people lose their parents young, and they don't bitch and moan about, like, being a prince. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking prince, motherfuckers. Or at least they tell him he is. You know? So there's two goofy things happening here. This entire fucking interview, right? And again, I personally, even though there's no evidence, I lean towards the fact that what Meghan Markle and Prince Harry said are probably at least partially true, right? Not the shit that turned out to be false, but they're concerned about the kid being of mixed race. I get that, you know, like I see it happening, right? I totally see it. These are people that have been like white kings for like fucking who knows how long, like what, 300 years, whatever, right? And now like someone is not going to look like them, and they're like, holy shit, that's fucked up. We want him to look like us, right? That's the whole concern there, and it's wrong. It's wrong because the poor kid can't do anything about the fact that he might be dark-skinned. The kid's white as shit, by the way, but like, kid can't do anything. You shouldn't discriminate against the kid or Meghan Markle for this. No doubt about it. But the facts are what the facts are. This should surprise absolutely no one. Oprah's like, what? Like, she had this confounded look on her face, like, what? I can't believe this. You mean a woman who's like 99 years old, right? Who has been queen since like segregation? Probably, you know what I'm saying? You think this broad, you're surprised that this broad might be a racist, or that her son might be a racist, right? These are elitist motherfuckers. They don't give a shit about normal people, right? And if they do, it's in a superficial way, right? They're elitists. They're people that have had money for centuries. Do you understand what the fuck that means? Let me ask you motherfuckers a question. How many of you know the name of your great-great-great-grandpa, right? Go back 3 greats. Go back 3 great-great-grandpas ago, right? On your dad's side, let's say, right? Like your father's 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 father. How many of you know his fucking name, right? Probably almost none of you. But think about this, motherfuckers. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Harry, cuckboy, sissy Prince Harry, can go to Wikipedia and learn about his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. That's how long these motherfuckers have been relevant, and how long they've been rich, and how long they've been royalty, right? So the point I'm trying to make is this. Do not think that these people look at the rest of the world the same way. And at the end of the day, they aren't the same way. There are people that have been on top for so long, and nowadays they're on top for doing nothing. So it's like that resentment that people have for like poor people, they definitely have it in spades. And the resentment that they have for people that aren't like them, whether they be black, white, Chinese, who cares, right? Is definitely, not definitely, but it's probably there. It should surprise no one. So the goofy thing is Oprah's reaction was fucking retarded and fake as shit. The goofy thing was the entire interview, right, in its entirety, with Harry betraying his family, basically, right? His father, his brother, his grandma, you know, his ancestors, his country even, making his country look like shit. You know, these are things that in different times you'd get killed for. Treason, betraying your country, motherfuckers. Meghan Markle is just a complete moron, so I don't even have anything to say about her. Bless her soul, you know. She's an attractive woman, and she's made something of herself, so good for her. But she's very stupid. Dumber than a box of rocks if you ask your boy, right? And perhaps the goofiest of all is the world, the English public, and you know what? The rest of the world too, because I heard that 2 billion people watched the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, why the fuck would anyone watch a wedding between two people that they don't know? I don't even know why anyone would be interested in that. I would rather do anything else that's not painful than watch that wedding, right? Now, in many ways, I could see it. I could see, like, certain people watching it for the pageantry and, like, the ceremony and all the other shit. And people in England, I could see them watching it because it's part of their history. You know, but for the rest of us, like, I think it's fucking weird as shit, motherfucks. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. There you have it. This is all goofy shit. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, hater, how is watching the wedding any different than what you're doing right now, which is talking about this? I'll tell you how, motherfucks. Number one, this is a current event, right? That's apparently really big news. I fail to see why it's such big news because I fail to see why anyone should give a rat's ass about whether Queen Elizabeth or Prince Charles or Duke Douchebag or whoever the fuck it is a racist. I don't care at all. You know, like, who the fuck cares? Great, they're a racist. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. What are they going to do? They don't do anything. It's not like they're a racist. They can go and chop your head off like back in the day. They don't do shit. You know, like, they're like kings and queens in name only. The announcer, the Piers Morgan's co-host is like, we can't have a racist king. Like, the public will be like, no, you're not a king anymore. What are you going to do about it? Back in the day, imagine this, motherfucks. Imagine someone going to Dracula, right? Not the vampire, but the motherfucker, the real one, right? Going to Vlad Dracula and being like, hey, oh, Dracula, you're a piece of shit. You understand me? You're a piece of shit. And guess what? I think you're a racist, and I think you shouldn't be count anymore. You know what happened to that person? Dracula would take a pike, stick it up the person's ass, and put them in front of his lawn, right, in front of his castle as a fucking lawn ornament. That's what would happen in those different times. And he wasn't even a king, motherfucks. Dracula was a lowly count, right? These kings and queens are just like, they're at the mercy of tabloids. Like, they're like pussy-ass kings and queens. They have zero power, right? So who gives a fuck, like, what they believe? Who gives a fuck, like, what's happening in the behind closed doors? Right? That's not my business. That's not my concern, motherfucks. That's up to Meghan Markle and her dumbass husband to figure out. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about this. You know, we got our own problems up in this motherfucker. You know, the audacity of these people, right? They kept saying in the interview, oh, we didn't want this. We don't want this publicity. We didn't plan for the publicity. Then shut the fuck up and go live your lives in your piece of shit, like whatever, $17 million home. Go live your lives there. Don't fucking come at me on Hulu, showing out my Hulu. Oh, we don't care, but we're going to complain on TV for it. People that don't want attention, their entire argument is basically this. We got a lot of negative press, right? And we wanted, basically, the whole thing is they want a quiet life away from the crown. Well, if you want a fucking quiet life, you don't go to Oprah, you motherfucks. You do the exact opposite. You say, no, Oprah, I don't even want to come here if Oprah invites you. You say, I ain't coming here, motherfucker. That's what you say. And here we are. Here we are, motherfucks. A bunch of goofs, if you ask me. You know, England, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why these people even get any respect. I remember as a kid, when Princess Diana died, you know, obviously it was a tragedy. I'm not going to sit here and make fun of it. She was a young woman, and she died a horrific death. So that's not good, right? But I remember asking my mom. I was like, Mom, and even my dad. I'm like, Mom, Dad, why do people care so much for her? They don't know her personally, right? And my mom's like, she's the princess, and people in England care for her because she's the princess. And I'm like, but that's weird. Like, they don't know her at all, right? People are crying about the death of someone they don't know. It's fucking strange. It's just like, what was it, like, I think 2016, that year where, like, all these celebrities kept dying, right? And you hear all these people, like, making it all about themselves. Oh, I can't believe this person died. How will I live my life? Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Have some decency. You know? So there you have it. Bunch of goofy shit. England. I'm going to need an explanation. You know what I'm saying? And with that, motherfucks, I'll talk to all you guys later. Being this bitch. You understand me?